Well, here to talk about it and break it down a little bit is Ben Goessling from MASNsports.com. And that was not only was it a rough day for John yesterday out in the mound to face the media, then today to be sent to AA Harrisburg.
Yeah, it's been a tough 36, 24 hours, whatever it's been for John, but he's handled it well. I mean, the reports we got from everybody we talked to today, Mike Rizzo, Jim Riggleman, Steve McCaddy, were how professional Lannan was, how much he understood what they had to do. He understood that he hadn't gotten the job done, and he's vowed to kind of go back and fix it. And I think, you know, if a couple of starts is enough to get him right, I think that's all it'll be. They don't seem like they want to keep him down there long. They just need to get him right and get his sinker working again, and he'll be back up here pretty quick, I think.
Well, you have to get away from the pressure. You have to get away sometimes, Johnny, from the feeling of going out here and have to be successful. Change of scenery helps that. It hurts individually to get sent down. I've seen a lot of people do that. Fortunately, sure, I never had to do that. But getting back down there and just having a different scenery, a different look, someone that you can talk to, confide to. And basically, even if you're pitching down there, you're able to go out and make pitches and work on things. As here, you can't work on things on the mound. You have to work on things off the mound. So it's going to be a positive thing for John. And there's no question in my mind that he's going to be back here and be very effective when he comes back.
Yeah, and he mentioned yesterday that he was working on some things during the outing, which, like you say, you can't do. I mean, when he's trying to find mechanics and trying to adjust things in the middle of your outing, you obviously don't have time for that. And if you're doing that, these guys are going to make you pay for it. And he's got time now to work on that. Randy Tomlin, the pitching coach at Harrisburg, is a guy he's got a relationship with. Was the main reason for Harrisburg versus Syracuse. I know some people are probably curious about that, but he's got a little bit more of a comfortable environment, I guess, if you want to call it that, to go work some things out. And like I say, I don't expect it to be long before he's back here.
And we have our Nats extra poll question, Ben. We want to let the folks see about that. What should the Nats do with the lineup? Should they mix it up or should they keep it the same? Let's get your thoughts about that.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what there is that they can do that much. Because, I mean, you've got those top two spots that you can play with a little bit. I mean, you've got Nigel Morgan leading off and Christian Guzman hitting second most nights. If you drop one of those guys in the lineup, they lose some of their effectiveness. Those guys are meant to be top of the order guys to get things started. In Nigel's case, get on base a little more than he's been doing. You could play maybe with that number 2 spot a little bit. You could try Ian Desmond there. You could try Pudge there. I've heard people say you could try Josh Willingham there just because of his on base percentage. But you know, in theory, it's a good idea. I'm not sure how much leeway they have to play around with it there.
How about Adam Dunn? In Cincinnati, you thought about that, didn't you?
Well, Bob Boone thought about putting Adam Dunn up there just because he got on base so much. But I believe, Johnny, that you've got two possibilities in Bernardino and Desmond, power-wise and running the bases-wise. But as we talked about, you have to be able to stick with what you believe that is going to carry you in the long haul. You can't take Niger out of that spot. He's a prototypical leadoff hitter, as Ben says. And the number 2 hole, whomever you want to throw there, it's not that big a deal for me. A lot of guys could hit in the 2 hole because it's not anymore just bunting and getting the guy over. The big thing is we do have to get runners on in front of Willingham and Dunn and Zim. It's just a different deal when you're hitting with nobody on base and the pitcher can just work you any way he wants to. He's going to throw a lot of breaking balls. He's going to throw a lot of pitches to the edge of the plate. And as of late, those guys are getting those pitches called for strikes against them. So I wouldn't do anything differently. Jim Riggleman knows this club better than anybody else. If he shakes it up, you can bet it's going to be just because he feels like on that particular day we got a better chance to win.
And one breakout game like tonight, everything's back on track.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it takes to get things going again. And you've got some opponents here where you can maybe get things going. You've got some weak opponents that they're playing here, and they could rip off 5 or 6 straight, and then everything's good again.
Yeah, and you can find Ben Goessling all over the place. MASNsports.com would be the logical and favorite place to go. Thank you, Ben. Always great to have you.
You got it.